I won because I did something that my ex, would never have imagined I would have been able to do. So I want you to know that whoever you're dealing with, whoever your ex is, again, I'm saying he, but it could be a she, but they never imagined you would walk away and stay away because they've never seen it done before. Like, I had to accept that he has never seen a woman have that level of self-respect and self-love to choose herself. And all the women around him that he grew up around in his church, friends and family, stayed in toxic relationships. Yeah, like he really thought I was going to continue this generational curse with him. And what I'm realizing is the narcissists, like, they don't realize that you are the generational curse breaker. Hi, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Esther, and I just want to start off this video by saying that I'm mainly going to be talking to myself in this video. I was just having some thoughts, and I felt like maybe I should share these thoughts and what I was saying to myself on my channel, just in case there is someone out there who needs to hear it. Someone who is where I was 6 months ago. Someone who is struggling to forgive themselves for accepting a level of treatment that is way beneath what they know they deserve. Struggling to forgive themselves for staying in a toxic relationship longer than they would have liked. I honestly feel so blessed to have been able to find that strength through God to leave that relationship. But sometimes I think about, what if I was not as mentally strong? What if my relationship with God wasn't where it was at during that time? That situation would have broken me. So I am so grateful for just the mindset that I learned to kind of adapt in that situation, and just the way that I was able to recondition my thinking to like reflect something more positive. Like, I was able to raise my self-esteem. I'm so grateful for that. And I think about sometimes others out there who maybe don't have this mindset yet, or are not sure how to find it, are not sure how to like raise their self-esteem. That's why I want to share my thoughts in this video. So if you're watching this video right now, I hope that means that you have also found the strength to walk away from a toxic or abusive relationship. I'm manifesting that right now. I am manifesting that everyone who comes across this video is someone who needs to hear this, who has either found the strength to walk away and is looking for encouragement to stay away, or someone who is looking for the strength to walk away. That was my manifestation dust. And probably some cat fur. Okay, so if you clicked on this video because you've already done that, which by that I mean walked away from a toxic relationship, then I just want you to know that I am very proud of you. And if you clicked on this video because you are looking for the strength to do this, to walk away from an abusive relationship, then I want you to know that I believe in you and that you are much stronger than you know. I was also at a place where I didn't feel very strong, and I didn't think that I could have the strength to walk away, but I realize now that finding the courage to look into videos and watch content and try to understand what you're going through, looking into narcissistic abuse, looking into what an abusive relationship even is, that shows a level of strength that at the time I didn't understand, but I see now. is why you will make it out of that situation. And I just want to say too that I'm very glad that I took all the time that I needed to figure out what was going on, to figure out how I felt about what was going on before I walked away. Some might say that I stayed too long. Some might say that I went back and that I was desperate. But I'm glad that that was the route that I took, because when I finally did find the courage to walk away, I knew that I would never go back. So let me be the one to tell you that you do not have to be ashamed or feel ashamed for still loving him. You don't have to feel guilty for still having thoughts or desires of going back. I was there once too, and I allowed myself to have those thoughts. I was also in the position where I was in the relationship wanting to leave and allowing myself to have the thoughts where I said to myself, you know what? I know he's treating me terrible and I am willing to stay. I allowed myself to have those thoughts, and I'm grateful that I did that, because through having those thoughts, it helped me see that I truly do want more for myself. And I was able to see where I would end up with this mindset while in that relationship. And I, like, the future that I saw, I understood that I deserved better. So I think everyone needs to take the time to process how they truly feel. If you're blessed enough to have a level of self-awareness while in a relationship like that, in a toxic situation, then you should really take advantage of that and analyze yourself as deep as you can while still in that situation. With that level of self-awareness, I also believe comes protection. Like, I'm not gonna get all religious. I will definitely talk about my faith and how I really provided that self-protection for myself. For me, it was through the Bible and it was through my love for Jesus Christ. But I do believe the foundation of it was a self-talk. Like, I was talking to myself, I was speaking life over myself, and I was understanding who I am, because I was looking into like my flaws. I was trying to accept these thoughts. I was accepting that, yes, I could stay in this relationship. I could settle. I could allow myself to get treated like this for the rest of my life. How would I feel about that though? So I'm grateful that I gave myself that experience. So if you are in that position right now and you are wondering if you should stay or if you should go, my advice to you is really sit in that feeling and ask yourself that question as many times as you need to before you, until you come up with that answer that you're looking for. Write a pros and cons list as many times as you need to. Leave and spend time on your own with, you know, as many like parameters as you need to. Like, for example, I had a situation where I made a stipulation, is that the word? I don't know. But I said that I want to take a break for a year. And I'm so glad I did that. Even though in the moment I felt like this is desperate. He's treating me like and I'm asking him for a break. But I'm glad I did that, because even though the break only lasted a few months, maybe like 3-4 months, I really took some time on my own, and it was that was the beginning of me realizing that I can be on my own and I can stand strong. Because before that break, for a few months, I had been in communication with this man for like 3 years, every single day, give or take like 1 week. So like 7 days out of 3 years. So having that first break, even though it felt desperate and toxic, asking for that distance, and I felt like I should have just broke up with him, but I felt like I needed that stipulation in my mind that we were still together to be able to like process and like focus on myself. So not everyone is going to understand that, but if you know, you know, and I'm glad I did that. So do not be too hard on yourself if you feel like you need to take your time to process and understand whether leaving is the decision for you or not. Like they say, some people say that leaving is the hardest part in an abusive relationship, especially a physically and emotionally abusive relationship. I've heard that from a few therapists and also friends when I shared with them that I was in an abusive relationship. And they said to me that leaving is the hardest part. And I've even heard that from other women who have experienced a relationship that is a relationship like this, who've been in the same situation. And at first, this used to trigger me, I'll be honest. When I would hear people say that to me, that I'm strong and that leaving was the hardest part and I should be proud of myself for just leaving, I felt like it was something that people just say to you. Like I felt like it was just something people say to try to make you feel better. The same way at a funeral, someone says, "I'm sorry for your loss." It just felt like one of those sayings for me. And I realize now that I think the reason I felt that way is because I think it's not that it was an empty saying, because it actually is a very true statement, but I think that it just felt unfinished. I think that in its full entirety, that what people who say that, what they're trying to say is that you have accomplished the hardest part when you have found the strength to walk away, and you also have no desire to go back because you know that you deserve better. I think that's what they're trying to say. And now that I have experienced it myself, I see that basically what that means is that you've won. Once you've decided to walk away and you know you're not going back, you have won, okay? It's not just a petty saying like it was a competition or anything, but it's more of like you have what truly matters, and that is self-love, self-respect, and peace of mind. So yeah, what more? Like there is nothing that you need from that person, even if you had at one point felt like you desired closure. Accepting that once you have found the strength to just walk away and choose yourself, you've won. That is the closure in itself in my eyes. I think that was the hardest part for me in the beginning of healing after this relationship, was feeling like something was taken from me. So like my self-respect, or feeling like I had to have low self-esteem in general to have been able to be in this relationship. It was a lot of these complex feelings of not understanding that I chose myself the moment I decided to not continue trying to work things out with him. And I don't know what your situation is. It could be a woman that you are healing from being with, but in my situation, it was a man. So I'm going to be using he a lot in this video, but I think that everything I'm saying applies to relationships with men who have experienced this situation too, where their partner, who was a woman, was also abusive, physically or emotionally or both. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. But yeah, so basically I just think that the main thing to remember during this healing process is that you have won, because you walked away from the relationship with everything that you've brought into it when you decide to choose yourself. Only those who have really experienced something like this know how enmeshed and how just chaotic emotionally it can be, and how tied you can be to someone emotionally. So to be able to separate yourself and see where you are and where they are, and decide to do the hard process of severing that really tight, enmeshed connection. Yeah, like you have more strength than they could ever imagine to have. And I really understand too that that was the whole purpose of the experience. It was to teach me that. So that was the whole purpose. I know you might be thinking, then why God, why am I going through this? The purpose is for you to realize that you are so much more powerful than you know. And you have the strength to overcome absolutely anything. And anyone who tries to dim your light or destroy you, I hate saying that, destroy you, because it's like, it's not specific enough. So anyone who's trying to make you depressed, anyone who's trying to make you have an experience that makes you stuck in life will never succeed, because you have the ability to overcome and choose yourself again and again and again.
Choose yourself again and 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 again.
I don't know if you've seen that meme, but yeah, that's what comes to mind. Anyways, I realized that I won because I did something that he, my ex, would never have imagined I would have been able to do. So I want you to know that whoever you're dealing with, whoever your ex is, again, I'm saying he, but it could be a she, but they never imagined you would walk away and stay away because they've never seen it done before. Like, I had to accept that he has never seen a woman have that level of self-respect and self-love to choose herself. I've had firsthand experience of this, and I'm sure if you're watching this video, you probably understand what I'm saying, but his mother never did it. She stayed in a toxic relationship. His sibling never did it. He stayed in a toxic relationship. All the women around him that he grew up around in his church, friends and family, stayed in toxic relationships. And he also saw that in your family. So for example, in my family, he also saw that, you know, my mother, my older sibling, you know, family members, aunts, all that stayed in toxic relationships. And I believe like that's why he thought we were the same, that we're cut from the same cloth, so obviously we must think the same. And yeah, like he really thought I was going to continue this generational curse with him. And what I'm realizing is narcissists, like, they don't realize that you are the generational curse breaker. I think the satisfaction they get is from being able to take someone's optimism. I think that's what people mean when they say dim someone's light. Make that person feel like they deserve to be treated a certain way, because the narcissist feels like they deserve to be treated a certain way. That's why they can't forgive or move on from the experiences that they've had, and why they project these feelings onto other people. So that's why what you did was earth-shattering to them. They cannot imagine that there are actually people like you and me out here on this earth who are able to do that, who are able to understand that people's actions towards you does not have anything to do with you or how you deserve to be treated, and everything to do with what they believe and how they feel they deserve to be treated, and thus other people should be treated. So they're absolutely flabbergasted. I've always wanted to use that word. But yeah, they're shocked. They're shooketh, quaking in their boots, because they never imagined that people like you existed. And if they knew people like you existed, they probably wouldn't have treated you the way that they did. They probably wouldn't have tested you, because I think that's why a lot of narcissists twist the narrative and the story about how the relationship ended, because now they actually do feel pretty dumb and embarrassed about their actions that they took against someone who was genuinely a good person. Or I hate saying good person, I don't know why I said that, but someone who's genuinely a loving person, an optimistic person, a kind person. And so if they knew you were truly that at your core, I doubt they would have ever tested you in that way. They probably would have just stayed away from you, knowing that you would have been able to see through them very easily. So I just wanted to make this quick video to remind you and myself of all of that, in case you just needed a little push to keep going, to keep no contact, or to just like not beat yourself up for having experienced that, because that's the stage that I'm at. I no longer really struggle with thoughts of like going back or ever entertaining a situation like that, but I am struggling with feeling like I need reminders that I did not just accept that situation. I didn't just allow someone to treat me like that. I took the chance to be kind and to give someone the benefit of the doubt who ended up taking advantage of that kindness. So I need that reminder constantly, and I don't know who else needs it, but yeah, here it is. You did not just allow or accept that behavior. Your kind heart got taken advantage of, and that is what happens in a world full of people who have been hurt and don't know how to manage that pain. And that kind of leads me to a last point. My last point, I don't want to make this video too long, but my last point, something I want to share that I was thinking about making a whole separate video. I might make a whole separate video about this, but a big part of winning against the narcissist, in my opinion, is that you do not see them as a villain. Like, whether or not you are at the stage of your healing where you can forgive this person, one piece of advice I would give to anyone who is going through the process, especially someone who is in the early stages of, a breakup with someone who is narcissistic or heavily narcissistic, I don't know, someone who's toxic, is don't see them as a villain. Try your best to not look at this person as this evil villain demon who came to try to destroy you or kill you or ruin your life. I had to learn that, and I think that's a big part of why I've been able to process this so quickly. Like, I don't even want to toot my own horn, but honestly, I think I have been leaps and bounds in these past 6 months because of this one concept, is not seeing them as a villain and trying my best to forgive them. I wouldn't say I have fully reached a point that I would like to be at when it comes to forgiveness, but I definitely say I've reached a point of understanding that this person is not a villain. They're not a demon. They're not this evil, toxic person. They are simply this very insecure, selfish human. I want to make a whole separate video about this when it comes to narcissism, but there's a whole misconception that narcissists are these really confident, egotistical maniacs, and that's why they act the way they are. But I'm under the impression, and I've also seen some content about, and I might link it in the description box, honestly. If I forget, which I probably won't because I'll be editing this, but if it's not there and you do want to see these videos, let me know in the comment box below. But I have seen some content that I'm going to try to link in the description box of like psychologists talking about the fact that narcissism is actually based on like severe insecurity and not severe confidence, and they're overconfident, and that's why, no, it's like the masking happens because of this like insecurity. Like if they are not perceived a certain way, they cannot survive it. Think like a toddler, like honestly, it's not about this person is so confident and they're just so evil and they want to tear other people apart because of their evilness. It's really more of like children who do things like they'll eat your cookie. They don't care if you're starving, they'll eat your cookie because they're selfish. It's has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them, their needs, and how they want to be perceived, and what they want. So I think that is a very big part of healing from experiencing narcissistic abuse, is just realizing that you won't get very far thinking that they are this demon or this evil person. So whether or not you desire to forgive them, I think it's really important to just start at the point where you don't see them like a villain, because that's how you truly win. Like in my eyes, narcissists are like little toddlers, and I used to be a nanny, so and I'm also Haitian, so my mom was very strict, and I have always known, I guess, how to care for children, but it wasn't until I started seeing narcissists like toddlers that it became a lot easier to handle them and manage them. But when we're talking about adults now, it becomes like you don't have to ever be around them or manage them if you don't want to. Yeah. Ever since I started seeing narcissists like toddlers, it has been so much easier to just understand that nothing that has happened in my experience with them has been about me. And although that is hurtful, and it has been hurtful to just process and understand that relationships that I thought I was, that was mutual in terms of emotional investment, wasn't. So that was hurtful for me to accept and process, understanding that, and that this person was only looking for their emotional gain in every way. But yeah, that brings me back to the you won by walking away part. Okay, so taking back your power, in my opinion, has everything to do with realizing that they're not this evil villain that was trying to ruin your life. And even if they did try, they couldn't, because you hold the power to direct your life in whichever way. So you also hold the power to decide what your value is. So them trying to devalue you, humiliate you, disrespect you can never decrease your value. So that's all I have to say about that for now. Those were my thoughts, and these are the thoughts that constantly help me continue to remind myself that I made the right decision, and also that I am that So if you needed that reminder, I am glad I was able to be here to share it with you. And if you enjoyed this video, I hope that you can give it a thumbs up to let me know that you enjoyed it. I'm trying out different types of content, so I thought that this random thought rant video might be a good idea to post on my channel. So I really hope it does help someone out there who's in this position. And if you did enjoy it or receive any type of inspiration from this video, I hope that you subscribe to my channel, because I plan on uploading more videos like this. I really enjoyed filming it. I have been having trouble feeling inspired to film videos since my last video that I posted, but this really felt right. And so I will be posting more videos like this. So if you enjoyed it, subscribe. I really hope to see you in my next video, and I also hope that you continue to stay strong, because you are strong. And yeah, you don't need that. Okay, bye. So if, oh my gosh, my chair is so loud. Okay, still recording.